Ninja and Flannel. I'm super excited about what I have today. That is going to be a PSA JAKL 8-inch and 300 blackout. Just going to be an unboxing and a basic overview, first impressions. So, here she is. In the box, it's not that exciting, but you get a chamber flag, a mag, a book, and a lock. So, pretty standard. Nothing really exciting there. All right, so let's take a look at this. All right, so for first looks here, it's strangely familiar yet oddly foreign all at once. So your upper, like you would expect, is just complete JAKL. It's something you're not familiar with. It's all new. The lower, though, you've got your standard AR lower, except there's no buffer tube. You have a pick rail adapter in the back, which is very seamless. You almost can't tell it's an AR lower until you feel it and look kind of closely, and then you're like, oh yeah, it is an AR lower. So it's pretty nice that you can run your standard AR trigger, mag release, safety, bolt release, and all that stuff. All right, so let's get in a basic overview here, and I'm just gonna kind of look at it with you guys because this is brand new to me. And we'll start at the muzzle to keep it, halfway organized. It comes with an A2 flash hider. This would be 5/8 by 24 threads because it's a 30 cal. So you got your long stroke piston, which is pretty neat. And this is a let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so 6-position system, 6-position piston system, which is cool. My MDRX I used to have was also 6-position, and that was pretty sufficient for what I needed. Good range of gas settings for different ammo types and subsonic and stuff. We'll see how this performs on the range though. Moving back, we've got the handguard. Now, this is kind of interesting. So your upper is just one molded piece all the way to the end of the handguard. So I could see this being super strong. I mean, when you even feel this, it is sturdy, which is cool. It's got some nice cuts in here. So I think aesthetically it's very nice, which doesn't matter. We all know it does matter. You want it to look cool. That's half the battle. So the upper is cool. I like that it's all one piece. Little handguard down here is nice. You've got 2.5 M-lock slots on the sides, on both sides, plus a sling QD mount on both sides, which is really nice. You don't have to put an adapter in there. But you also have 3.5 M-lock slots on the bottom. So a lot of real estate, especially for a short weapon here that you can mount all your stuff on. The top rail is kind of cool. You've got a groove milled down the center of it. Kind of gives it a nice look to it. Then you've got your side charge handle, which is the point of the JAKL, really. Side charge handle and piston driven. No buffer tube. That's the whole purpose of this setup. But the charge handle's nice. I mean, a lot of times with companies, you get it and you immediately want to look for an aftermarket one. I could see this one being totally sufficient for me. I mean, maybe a folding one would be cool, but it's pretty solid. I don't see that being a problem. The MDRX I used to have, they used to break all the time, so I always check charge handles now. Pretty sweet. I like it so far. So the upper now, I actually had to check closely here because it feels so solid. It kind of feels like steel. It is aluminum, but it feels like steel, which is pretty cool. Like it's not terribly heavy, but it's got some weight to it where you can feel like this is a solid system here. I really like it quite a bit. The trigger it comes with, it's like a mil-spec trigger. It feels like they may be a little enhanced or polished just a touch. It's not as bad as a standard mil-spec, as you can see. Not terrible, but that's gonna go, obviously. Put like a Geisley in there or something like that. The finish. Let's take a look at that before we move on back past this handguard. The finish is actually really nice on here. You don't really see any imperfections or smudges, nothing like that. I'm pretty impressed with that. One thing I do see that's interesting, I don't think it's on purpose, but it's kind of cool. Everywhere this is milled out, you kind of have like a leftover texture from when they were milling it. It almost looks like the fingerprints of your thumbprint. So that's kind of cool. You've got in this, all of these grooves here, and that. It's very subtle. If you hit it with some lighting, like these lights I have in my shop, you can kind of see it. But other than that, that's about it. For the price point, especially, and being in the piston game, and you're putting this next to MPX or the Bren, which I got a Bren behind me somewhere here, and the Scar, things like that. This is pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about running this thing, testing it, doing some reviews for you guys. It's pretty neat. Now, your shell deflector, it looks like that's actually bolted on there, so that looks like it could be replaced. Cool. This brace, I mean, that's kind of beside the point. That's obviously can get replaced. I'm not so sure about that. That's a little spongy. That may not be something that we want to keep on there for any length of time. Yeah, if you're gonna get one of these, you might want to get the one that comes with no brace. Save yourself the money and buy something more solid. But pretty cool. On that note, I will put a link in the description and comment section of where you can see more details on these, like the boring details, like what the exact weight is and the exact overall length, stuff like that. I get too bored reading it. I can't do it. So I'll put a link there. Check it out. You can look for where you can find these for yourself or where you can see all of these specs. Let's open up the inside and see how she looks on the inside. Okay, so let's see if it's loose enough to take apart without a tool. Oh, it is. Pretty neat. Front one out as well. Oh, it is nice being like an AR. All right, so you've got a recoil spring in here. Okay, so there's a bit of a plunger. It looks like there's a socket in the top. It just kind of goes in and latches. Pretty nice way to take that down, actually. Comes right out. All right. Oh, that's funny. It's like an AR and an AK had a baby, and this was it. You got your piston in the top, an AR style bolt in the bottom. I don't know if it's the same as an AR, but it looks very similar. And then there's also the cotter pin back here, if that's the right term, and the firing pin. I don't know if those are the same, so I'm kind of curious. Let's take that out real quick here, and we'll see if it's the same. That pin's the same. Firing pin looks just like an AR, unless the dimensions are slightly off. I believe it's the same. So if you're familiar with ARs, which hopefully you are, everyone should be at this point, this is just like it. Like, I didn't have to research how to take this apart. You got your bolt with the hole through it here. You got your regular lug, firing pin, and the cotter pin. It's very intuitive to take apart. I really like that. Very simple. It's going to be easy to clean. And it is, I will say, this is some chunky steel right here. Looks like it's machined pretty well. I need to oil it up real good, but yeah, this is impressive. I am pleasantly surprised so far. I honestly had no idea, and still have no idea what to expect with this. I've been looking into getting one of these, especially on the channel here for a while, and PSA was kind enough to send one out to me, so thank you to them for that. And we're going to do a lot of content on this soon. I'm going to set it up with for a night vision shoot, stuff like that. I'm basically just going to treat this as my full-time firearm for a while until I'm fully confident with it and can give you guys solid data about it to know if it's just another range toy or if it's a legitimate option for training and home defense and so on. Let's see how this goes in. Okay, it drops in there. Just gotta give it a little rattle, I guess. Okay. You know, it's actually easy to take apart. It's not any different than the AR, really. It's just different charge handle locations and so on. I'm not sure how to take this piston apart yet, because as you can see, I just opened it. But it's probably similar to the Bren, I would imagine. But we will see. Pretty neat. Weight-wise, I've got a CZ Bren 11-inch right here. It's about the same as an 11-inch Bren. This is an 8-inch. So 8-inch JAKL in 300 blackout is about the weight of an 11-inch Bren. So it's got a little bit of weight to it, but I have a feeling that once it's all decked out, that's going to be nice. So pretty short video, but just an unboxing. How much can you do? Next, we're going to be doing all kinds of upgrades on this, some serious testing, shooting it suppressed, non-suppressed, accuracy. So stay tuned. This is going to be sweet. Farewell.